Club motorsport in the United Kingdom is seen as one of the most interesting, competitive and exciting in the world. And for the remainder of 2021, I want to take you inside one of the UK's flagship organisations, the 750 Motor Club. We'll get to know the drivers, the cars and the tracks and let you know how you can get involved and go racing yourself. Today we'll be focusing on the 750 Motor Club Sports Special Championship. This is a series for genuine production sports specials, kit cars, caterhams and Westfields, as well as one-off road-going two-seater specials, all using production car engines with modifications. Today we're going to speak to one of the drivers who has called this series home for the past few seasons. Stuart Thompson has an impressive resume within the series, and 2021 is his second season within the top class, Class A of sports specials.
When I was a kid, we used to live near Vauxhall Stadium, that's a stock car track, literally up the road. So that's the first thing, the first thing I got in was the motorbikes, the Speedway, when I was a teenager. Raced that for 3 or 4 years, raced for Kings Lynn, Peterborough, and then it got too expensive, got married and had to pack it in. And then I guess nothing happened for 20 years and then got into stock car racing due to the fact that Vauxhall Stadium was literally up the road. Raced in the single seaters there for about 7 or 8 years and then it started to hurt too much, broke too many bones, so I gave that up. And then had a year or two out and started racing caterhams for a little while in the graduate series. Once again I got a bit fed up with that, it got a bit too expensive, too much money thrown at it, and we were looking for something to race the caterham in at the time. And we came along here, saw the sports specials, so we'll have a go at that. And we raced that for a year and then we swapped over, bought this car a year ago and been racing this ever since.
To put it simply, there are 3 classes within this championship. Class A is 330 to 350 brake horsepower per tonne. Class B is 270 to 280 brake horsepower per tonne. And then there's a third class, Class C, which is for a special type of vehicle, the MX150R. And within the 2 main classes, A and B, there are different brake horsepower per tonnes depending on the type of vehicle you have. It gets a little bit more complicated than in the Road Sports series or Hot Hatch series where it's a base number per tonne. So be sure to check out the 750 Motor Club website to understand where your car might fall into in this interesting class structure. And looking a bit more into the series specific regulations, suspension is mostly free. Things such as dampers are free, rose joints may be used and all the pickup points can be adjusted as well. And as for the brakes, 4 and 6 pot calipers are allowed, but for all classes ABS is prohibited. As for the transmission, the gearbox and diff must be from a production car. Close ratios are permitted, maximum of a 5 and 6 speed, that depends on the class. Tyres are nice and simple, choose the one you want from the Motorsport UK list, 1A, 1B and 1C, so this allows the driver behind the wheel to feel a little bit more confident knowing they've got the tyres underneath them that they really want.
Because I used to race what is known as a super stock on the ovals, and they're not dissimilar to the shape of a caterham. I didn't want to race a tin top, I'm no good at panel beat and I couldn't be pushing everything back together, so we just had a look and thought caterhams seem a good idea. That's about the only reason really, they're just so similar to what I was used to racing. I always say there's a fine line between nervous and scared, and that's why I basically packed in stock cars. I crossed that line, had too many big crashes and it was getting scary, and I thought no. But it's, we all have the adrenaline rush when we go out there, but as soon as you've got your helmet on and you line up, absolutely fine.
As with the 750 Motor Club in general, this grid has a number of interesting cars on it and there's normally upwards of 20 entries per round. There are 6 double-header weekends across the season, which adds up to 12 rounds, which gets added up all towards a championship at the end of the year. Each class getting its own championship standings as well as an overall standings at the end of the season. As always, the entry fees are fantastic within the 750 Motor Club. Aside from the club membership, which is £25 for a year, season registration is just £120 £250, and a double-header weekend qualifying in two 50-minute races is between £250 and £350 depending on the racetrack. And you may think that finding a car eligible to buy second-hand is confusing, but it's not the case. There's a great section on the 750 Motor Club website, a classified section where you can find available second-hand cars, and they're typically available from £5,000 to £7,000, and above from that, of course, you'll spend a little bit more for the top classes.
I've got to the age in life now whereas I don't want to race in a one-make series. For me, it's too competitive. It's fine for the younger guys, that's what they want to do. But for us, you've seen the cars in our form, there's all sorts, and as a result there's all different levels of speed and everything else. So you're not going to get 20 cars piling in together, apart from the first bend. And it suits me fine. You know, I still have a good race, but not worrying 15 minutes I've had it by the end. Doesn't sound a lot, does it? But I joined up just for the last meeting of the season 2 or 3 years ago, here in my old Caterham in Class B. And unfortunately, I won the race in Class B. So I thought, that's all right, good fun. But then I wanted to change, go a bit quicker. I would recommend anyone who's got a kit car, personally, and doesn't want to take it too seriously. Because the guys in the paddock, for me, they're the best group of guys I've ever raced with, by miles. We're obviously up against it with the cars with the mid and rear engines in. It's fair enough, they're a lot quicker. But, just to win the front engine class, which I did last year, I'm not going to do it this time, Anton's going to win it, but yeah, just have fun. Just come away for a weekend, and that's what this formula's about. It's not about super competitive, it's, having a beer or two, not too many the evening before, and just have a bit of fun.
Another really interesting category within the 750 Motor Club, this is combining a lot of cars that maybe have fallen out of class elsewhere and putting them on the track together and having some fantastic racing. They may not all look alike, but when out on a track, some of them are incredibly evenly matched, which provides some exciting racing. And as Stuart has mentioned, some really fantastic respect between the drivers as well, meaning there's little contact and great racing throughout the whole season. We'll be back with another one of these videos very shortly. Thank you for tuning into this one, and we'll see you around soon. Goodbye.